All right. So Apple announced brand new iPads today, 12-inch and an 11-inch. And my big question is, am I going to buy it over top of, this 12.9-inch that I have that is literally it's last year's model? Maybe it was a 2018 they put them out. But anyways, until today, the most recent model of iPad. So here's the way I look at it. First thing I'm going to look at is what do I feel is deficient in this one right here? And the truth is nothing really. It's pretty good. That's not true. The one thing I feel is deficient, and I'm actually reviewing a keyboard case. Let me grab it. It's in the shelf beside me. I'm actually reviewing this keyboard case for my iPad. See, it's like a laptop. Ooh, pull it open. And it's got a trackpad on it right there. So reviewing that. Was going to put it out, actually going to record this week, but because of the new iPad OS 13.4, I think, that has trackpad support, I'm going to wait on that and review it against trackpad support proper in the OS instead of the mimicked one and see how that is. That's one thing I kind of felt was missing because I was using this with the case it's in right now, which is the Initech one I reviewed a while ago. There'll be a link up top. And one of the things I missed while I was reading this morning about this and eating some breakfast was that I wish I had a trackpad to scroll instead of having the keyboard in the way and having to reach far back, but I want the keyboard because I'm typing a little bit. So the trackpad I missed this morning. That's one thing I miss, which is kind of software, kind of hardware, and even with the new iPads, that is, it comes with the keyboard. That's actually one thing. So it comes with a keyboard that has this floating hinge design thing, right? You see floating hinge. That is actually entirely compatible with my iPad. So I can get that, but it's also $500 Canadian, which I looked at as a $500 keyboard. It's a $500 keyboard with one USB-C port and a trackpad. That keyboard I just looked at was $99. Now it doesn't have USB-C. It's not so this has USB-C pass-through there keyboard. It allows you to you could hook up to a hub and then from the hub go into other stuff and have power all the way through. And then I have essentially two USB-C ports where I have one in the keyboard itself, and I have one in the iPad. Yeah, so that keyboard is $500, and that seems expensive. It seems just crazy, to be honest. The bridge is $239 US, I think it was, or like almost $300 Canadian, and that felt expensive, which is again one of the reasons I tried the $99 keyboard to see if it was worthwhile. And I have a bridge without the trackpad already, so that's good, and I can compare key feel against that. But it'll be interesting to see. I likely will, once it comes out at Best Buy, which is my local outdoor or electronics store, I will likely get one. And if I really don't like it or it's not worth $500 to me, then I will return it within their 14-day return window. That's one thing. Outside of that, honestly, looking at the iPad Pros, I've got my notes in front of me. Looking at it, it's got keyboard and trackpad support. Great. It's got LiDAR AR, a second camera system with a nice 10 megapixel camera. So the cameras are way upgraded. I don't use my iPad as a camera. I don't use it as AR or any of this detection stuff. So I'm not sure that matters. It's got the A12Z Bionic chip. Maybe that matters, but realistically, does it matter enough to me to spend say $2,000 Canadian on the iPad again? Because I say I have just barely owned this a year. I would have bought it January or February last year. So is it worth it to me? I don't know. I don't think so. I wish that, say last 2 weeks ago when I bought my wife an iPad, I knew about these coming out and I would have maybe got something different. Maybe I would have replaced my iPad Pro and given her my old iPad Pro. Instead, and use say the $500s, almost $600 to offset the cost of the new one instead. Right, because I had $600 towards her iPad, so I could have done that, but yeah, I didn't. I didn't know about that then. So, am I going to buy it? I don't know. I'm definitely not buying it right now. It does not make sense to buy it now. With all the virus stuff, my wife is actually laid off her job. She's a figure skating coach, so there's no arenas open. She doesn't have a job, and she's just working through that. She has a job when the arenas are open again. She's the program director. She runs the entire program. But it doesn't make sense for me to drop $2,000, which I'd be squeaking out of different places to make happen. That would be stupid. So I'm not ordering it right now. I have thought about ordering the 11-inch in smaller and not the 1 terabyte version and trying that out, seeing what the size feels like. Because I'm paying for everything myself, so it's hard to decide what is a good form factor and what isn't. I have one shot at it. I have to say this works or this doesn't. So, like, would the 12.9 be more for like work, like serious work because of the screen real estate, and the 11 would be, for like browsing for other stuff that's not quite so serious? It'd be better for travel. I don't know, and that's like an expensive $1,500 choice. If I actually probably go for the 512 still. Yeah, I wish, and then we'll have to find out. I wish that the 1 terabyte or that the 6 gigs of RAM that comes in this 1 terabyte actually went through the whole thing. Then I may have gone with the 512. And even then, a few times with doing video like this all the time at 4K, I have almost run out of space. So not almost run out. I think I would have run out at 512. I had like 300 gigs left. So that would definitely be an issue if I was using it as my full time. So I think 1 terabyte is where I need to be for that, which is funny because that's actually more storage than I have in my my Mac Mini back there. Although my Mac Mini has a 4 terabyte hard drive hanging off it, so that's where a lot of my big stuff goes. So am I buying it? Not yet. Will I buy it? Maybe, but not yet. With the phone that I need to buy for my wife, I need to replace my 6S Plus at some point. Those are the purchases that need to get made in this household first. The only like currently compelling feature is the chip, that it's faster. It'll be faster, great. Cameras, meh. Like the other stuff, meh. Speakers, okay, great. Microphones for recording video, okay, great. Like you can't see it, it's just out of frame. I've got a mic right up there. So I don't need that, right? And this mic was $50. 50? Maybe $70 for a Rode Video Micro. I'm just not sure that it's going to help me do my work better. Yes, I do talk about iPads, I do talk about technology, so on that standpoint, it will help me because I would have the newer one to talk about it, in which case, say the 11-inch maybe one that I get. Then my kids are going to want that one. They're going to be like bugging dad for it. Dad, you have 2 iPads. Can we use one? Which, I don't know. Maybe for homework, maybe something like that. Maybe it would be the small 11 would be a family iPad. It's a pretty hefty family iPad, though. That's where we sit. I mean, what do you think about the new iPad Pro? It's got faster chips. It's got LiDAR. It's got some better cameras. It's got some better microphones. Really, the most compelling thing is the keyboard, which is backwards compatible. But I'm not sure it's $500 compelling Canadian. That seems pretty crazy to me, actually. Yeah, but are you going to get one? Do you like it? Do you like the updates? Do you think updates are worthwhile? Or are they, in some ways, they feel incremental? I know the camera's a big deal. The camera's a big deal for AR, VR people, but I'm not convinced it's a big deal for me. I'm not convinced it's a big deal for most users. And then still, we're not seeing like Final Cut on there. I don't see Xcode on there. I don't see like a lot of pro apps on there. Right, even as I've been, I'm a web developer, even as I look around at the FTP clients to move files around, like, they're okay. The best thing I found so far is using Blink and like terminal command line tools to move files around. That is like far better than anything else out there at this point. So that is where I sit with the new iPad Pro. I think it's cool. I'm excited about it on some levels, but I don't think that it's a purchase for me at this point. And I'm not sure when it will be, if it will be, because most of the big features aren't compelling to me for my day-to-day use. And I'm not sure that a faster chip is that big a deal. Maybe I'll find it differently once we see even benchmarks. I don't care about benchmarks. Once we see like video render tests, stuff like that for people who are doing that. And the keyboard I can use on my iPad already. So it'll be interesting to see charging times, what actually passes through, and how fast it passes through and everything. That'll be interesting. And yeah, and it's magneted, so that'll be easy to like pop it off and on, in which case maybe that plus a one of the folio magnet covers like gives you an easy like keyboard when you're going and an easy like protection when you're just using it around the house. That's where we sit though. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your extra time at home alone doing stuff like avoiding the virus. If you love the video, you can subscribe below. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Never hit the bell because you got better things to do, though, than just wait for my next video, like hang out with your kids, read a book, write something, create something, and schedule some time for YouTube and watch me during that. Have a good day.